Hello, warm welcome, and hope you can hear well and translation is working. So this opportunity to continue, I just want to say that this meeting's being recorded, so you're going to get the official notice. So I'd like to share with you something to reflect on and a quote that I find very profound by Michelangelo. And he said, one of the things he said, the greatest danger for most of us lies not in setting our aim too high and falling short, but in setting our aim too low and achieving our mark. And a bit like this chicken story, if we haven't seen the line and the potential of the self to be free from any trace of sorrow, suffering, inauspicious feeling, as at least an inner aim. If we haven't understood the ego and are aiming to be successful chicken, then it's a bit like what I think was shared yesterday, the failure of success, that it is seen that there can be outer success, but it can lead to inner failure if we are going down the spiral and the starting position is wrong. So to set the aim, even if it seems challenging, but to be the ego. And from this perspective, the chicken success is seen as ridiculous, and that word was used at the end to help us strengthen Paris to see the other option as absurd, the ego behavior, trying to improve the chicken, the whole chicken coop. So it would be interesting to hear how your homework was going. I think it was really coming into the soul awareness, and from there we can start to observe. We talked a lot about ego, but seeing it from strength, not analyzing in the dark. And so look forward to today, and as always, please share your thoughts. And morning and welcome to Prashant.
Thank you, and good morning. And it is nice, that story that in a beautiful way summarizes the essence. And even during our meditations, the practices, we saw that it is possible for chicken to imagine, think about the ego, and that can go on. Keep paintings of the ego, and the effort is for the ego to wake up, and it is the ego perspective. In this 4-step meditation, we saw first step, you are seeing the ego, but step 2, the eagle seeing the chicken, and in a beautiful way, you are discovering how the shift of consciousness can happen within us, and that is it's a jump. We saw yesterday the ego that are there. They will not just say, okay, you want to be eagle, I'm going. Ego will give a fight. Ego want to survive. And that's where the resistance will come. Even sometimes all the excuses come. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow, maybe it is difficult. Maybe in future I will create ego. So I'm holding on to the ego, because if I become eagle, I will create an ego in the future. All kinds of arguments will come, but know that these arguments are coming from the chicken consciousness. And we just need to fly, take a jump and fly. That is the secret for us. So we will be coming to a subject. Today we are going to discuss the story from the scriptures, and it has got such a deep message. So the session will be based on a scriptural story. Just start with a few minutes of attention. We start by keeping the body comfortable. And reminding that right now we have the option to use the best sight, best intellect. And with this, we see the world without confusion. That's all. Because our starting position of the whole world is confusion, that's why precondition, we start with the best intellect. And now you are seeing the bigger map. Various things that appeared very, very important, serious. Now we are seeing all of them are things in a story and trivial. How bizarre to waste time thinking about these petty things in a little story. We are able to see the alokik dimension beyond the story. This is our big success. And it is like winning a lottery. Instant. Because with this alokik dimension, we also discover the true self. This is not just academic or one who wakes up. True self and true family, true home. We are just discovering this truth. This is also a world of immortality. The limitations of the story don't apply to this world. Everyone in this world is immortal. Everything is eternal. And these invisible souls in this world, who are the invisible players, they are beyond harm. Story cannot harm them, even the slightest. And anyone, the moment he realizes he's beyond harm, the attitude is of fun and enjoyment. That is where whenever we ever experience fun, it is when we feel so safe during those minutes, moments. Then it appears like fun. Here, the invisible players, they are absolutely safe. Nothing in the three worlds can harm them even the slightest. That's why they find silence is a gift, great gift, fun. And the sound is a fun, lorry is a fun, sun, fog, rain. But they also know the world beyond. They know of their immortality. They know of their family who are all like this, noble. They are all desireless, egoless, sorrowless, selfless. And viceless. All are like this. This is the eternal state of everyone. Which means this is the real them. They all can cross the line, but we are seeing the truth. Everyone is worthy of respect. All we have done is use the best intellect, and the game changes. There are not many steps, and it is not a long process. Fly. It is literally like this. The eagle understands it has got wings. Fly. Eagle can also spend time analyzing forever. That is also possible. This Paras environment helps the true self to become conscious. We just need to expose ourselves to this subtle and alaukic reality, the bigger picture, Paras environment. And then this environment favors the soul. We cannot, in the Patthar, if there is a certain kind of weather, you cannot have daffodils. But if there is spring, daffodils come out. So also here, the moment you create Paras environment, it favors the soul. You create Patthar environment, create ignorance, darkness, it favors the ego. And then difficult in that environment to bring about shift is difficult. So this Paras environment, it helps the soul to become conscious. He understands his invisible presence. His form as a presence is normal. He being immortal appears normal. He being independent from the story appears normal. He belonging to that sky appears normal. He is part of this great family of souls. This appears normal. He doesn't need anything for his existence. Immortal means this. He needs nothing from anywhere. Invisible player says this. He may give food to the body, but he knows he doesn't need the body. And that appears natural. Contentment is natural. As we continue on our journey, we remember the beautiful truth of the invisible travel. Thank you. Happy if you want to add anything, say anything.
Not specifically, just sharing experiences of wanting to know more and understanding a bit more about Maya, which I think we will be doing today.
Excellent. So we'll come to this story. And the story is called the epic story. It is called Ramayana. We are not going to go into the details. It is a huge thing, the detailed story, but we are seeing the spiritual message within that story. So in this story, there are three characters, main characters we are interested in. One character is called Sita. Sita was the queen. To start with, she was the princess and liked by everyone, very virtuous, beautiful. So the word Sita represents the soul. And Sita is married to Ram. And Ram is the king, strong, wise, and the Ram represents God. So in the kingdom of Ram and Sita, there is perfection and happiness, and there is no concept of sorrow. But story will not be complete without a third character, and the third character is Ravan. Ravan is the king of the demons. And Ravan wants to kidnap Sita. And demons, what is the function of demons? Demons deal with sorrow. Take sorrow, give sorrow. That is the life of the demon. And Ravan is the king of the demons. So he wants to kidnap. But Ravan cannot easily kidnap Sita because there is a line that exists here. And as long as Sita doesn't cross this line, Ravan cannot do anything. What is that line? What does that line represent? You know what we saw so far.
Line of ignorance.
Yeah.
We have Brother Lakshman with us.
Yeah, that's right. He should be authority on this. So there is a line, and as long as Sita stays behind that line, Ravan cannot do anything. But Ravan is also intelligent. He's a king in ignorance, but he has one cleverness, and that cleverness is how to get others into ignorance. He is good at this one thing. So he has done all the management programs and leadership programs. He always attends all these courses. So Ravan all the time thinking how to get Sita across the line. So one time he sends a golden deer. And golden deer is outside the line. Does it look like a deer? To imagine. So here is a deer, and Sita says, "Wow, amazing deer!" So she's so impressed with this golden deer. She crosses the line. At least you can see gold there. And once she crosses the line, her logic may be, you cross the line, take the deer, come back behind. What's the big deal? Why it is so much fuss, so many restrictions? But the moment you go from clarity into ignorance, from light into darkness, then it is not easy to come from darkness into light. You go from one room into another room of where complete darkness. It is not easy to find way out of the darkness. So here, behind that line is wisdom, clarity, truth, paras, that is behind the line. You cross the line, outside, it is darkness and ignorance, confusion. And so Sita is now, from this confusion, she creates more problems, more mistakes, and gets into more confusion. That's why the downward spiral. So Sita is now in this trap, and under the skin of the golden deer was another demon. The whole thing was a plot by Ravan to kidnap Sita. And now Sita gets kidnapped. She was the queen here, but now she is the slave in Ravan's kingdom. And she is slave to Ravan. And Ravan is not just an ordinary monster. Ravan has got 10 heads. And these heads, different heads need different things. As we said, we are seeing the spiritual meaning. In the story, you write some story, people really think there was a monster with 10 heads. But this is like we are seeing our psychodynamics. This story shows the psychodrama that is going on within us. So here is the Ravan, the monster, with 10 heads. Each head needs different things, and Sita is the slave to provide what Ravan needs. For example, this one head wants cigarettes. Each head is dedicated to different things. This one head needs cigarettes. So he says, cigarettes, where is the slave? Cigarettes. And Sita has to get in the car and go at a fastest speed to the nearest Tesco Express and bring the supplies to her boss. And he says, good slave. It is like in time. That's a good, well done. Is that the end of her problem? What happens next? Now she got a certificate from her boss. She should be happy. No? Are there any problems? Sita has got a good life.
9 other bosses.
9 other bosses. Okay. Is that all?
Comment, he might want something different next time.
Yes. But even this head of Ravan, when he is given cigarettes, that cigarette is its supply. Cigarette is its food. So this cigarettes, it feeds the head. That head gets bigger. And now he wants more cigarettes. So Sita has to run faster to get the supplies. And more you give to him, Ravan just gets bigger. And bigger Ravan becomes a proper monster. You know, that sometimes small Ravan doesn't appear to be demonic, but you feed him and it becomes a proper, so he can now take different kinds of sorrow, gets jealous, gets angry and loses temper. It is a proper demon. I like this example, a small one of a tiger appears so cute, you want to feed him. I have seen a tiger cub, small one, you feed and it is cute, just like any young one of any other animal. But you feed and you feed, he becomes bigger. Now he is 3 times your size with big fangs and claws. And he wants to eat you. He sees you as a food. So same thing happens here. Here it is a demon, not just a tiger. It is like an embodiment of what is evil in the world. That's what we mean by demon. And you feed him, then he becomes a proper demon. He can think in that way. He can take sorrow in different ways, give sorrow. So this is, we took example of one head that needs cigarettes. What does the second head need? What are the demands from second head?
Alcohol.
Alcohol. And the next head?
Is there any suggestions from chat? Drugs.
Yes. Yeah, alcohol, sure.
New car, Mercedes.
Yes.
And, status.
Yes.
And jealousy. And yeah, all vices. Fame.
Yes.
Could be another person.
Yeah. and lust. Yeah, that's true. All these different hates need different things, and it is good to see each hate is dedicated to these different things. And the more you give it, that hate gets bigger, and bigger hate wants more things. So one hate wants position, one hate wants just another person. You go away, he's going to take sorrow. How do you know that is Ravan behind? Only when Ravan is there, he will take sorrow. If Ravan is not there, you will not take sorrow. For example, one person might say, I like coffee, but if coffee is not there, he's just as happy. He doesn't mind if someone let us have coffee, sure. But no coffee, no problem. But if Ravan is there, he will be unhappy with it. So there's another person, you say, oh, I love the person, love everyone, but other person is not there. Then you will be unhappy. You are missing the person. You feel something is wrong. And it may take any form. Ravan's love, there's any form. Same thing applies to job, or there will be element of Ravan's energy, Ravan's disappointment, and Ravan's excitement. We might not easily realize there is Ravan there, but when sorrow comes, you definitely know this is Ravan here. Slightest sorrow, it means there is Ravan. If Ravan is not there, the same situation will not disturb you. So these are symbolically 10 hates. This story was written many thousand years ago. That time, Ravan had only 10 hates. Ravan can create more hates. So as time progresses, Ravan has got many more hates now, so many other things. There should be one hate here with mobile phone in his hand. So, okay, what are all these hates? What is all this? We say Ravan.
Needs, are they desires?
Desires, and what is behind desires?
Vices, craving.
What is behind cravings?
Mm-hmm.
We are seeing even behind vices. What is?
Emptiness. And a feeling of emptiness, thinking that you need something to make you happy. And you're going to say behind that, someone's listed the vices.
Yes. Which of these eight represents the I that we spoke of yesterday? That like one I wants a position, another I wants some person, because there is I creative. It can be I based on the father, and he wants to change the identity, the children around. Otherwise, that I is deprived of his existence. So the subtle and gross, but enough to know these are different identities, false identities. We use the word ego for this, but the word ego is defined in psychology in many different ways. So, but as long as in this context, as we understand it, we use it with this meaning. But enough to know more accurately false identities.
One question, did Sita create a desire by crossing the line, or was it the desire that made her cross the line?
It is like for whatever reason, you at some point we cross the line. Adam eats the apple at some point, whatever the reason. But once you cross the line, then the Ravan department starts. however innocently, it may be with minimum of curiosity, whatever it is. But Ravan department starts the moment we cross the line. And then desires and all, then it is like a proper Ravan department.
Okay, clear. So there aren't any other questions right this moment?
Sure. So we have seen here that Sita was having a life of a princess and a queen, a life of happiness and perfection, life with Ram, in truth. That is the most important. Now, she is the slave to Ravan. Ravan's 10 heads, getting bigger. And with that, we said this is worse than tiger, demonic heads, and they are getting bigger and they have different kinds of sorrow going on. And they want to beat someone, give sorrow to others. All this is going on in the mind. This is psychodrama going on. So these are all different heads. Beautiful story makes it very visual, because otherwise these are things very subtle. Now, Ram sends a message to Sita. Says, you are in a bit of a trouble. It appears that Ram takes over a bit late, but it is a freedom. Someone asks why Ram allows Sita to cross the line. It is a freedom. Ram believes in women's, independence. So here, I'm joking there. Huh? Here she crosses the line, and now Ram sends a message. You are in trouble, but I can free you. I am the Almighty. But there is a condition. Ram, here, God says, I love you also, and I'm happy to free you, but there is a condition. And the condition is that she should take the decision. He is not taking decision for her. Just as, say, a surgeon may tell a patient, I can operate and free you from the tumor completely. It is straightforward operation. But you give the consent, you take a decision. And it is very royal to take that position. If you want, I'll do the operation. If you don't want, that is equally happy. Think about and come again after 1 month. Fine. The surgeon doesn't mind. In the same way, here, Ram, he says, I can free you. There is a monster here. But you take a decision, and decision is her step. And Ram says he will take 100 steps. Is it an easy decision? Who thinks it is easy, or who thinks it is difficult? You can type difficult or easy.
Well, one answer is it's a both. It's easy and it's difficult. Don't know what others are thinking. It appears easy. One is no, but if she takes the first step, then maybe yes. And we see on the Spanish side, easy from self-consciousness and trust in Ram, then it's easy.
Okay, let me put it in another words. Choice is either you be queen to Ram. That is a choice. The offer is be the queen to Ram or slave to Ravan. This is a choice. Is it difficult? Even little difficult? Or partly difficult? Or is it easy?
The decision is easy, but the process is difficult.
The process he will help. We are asking about just a decision.
It seems like an obvious choice.
It is easy.
Yeah, someone else is very easy. It just needs clarity and effort.
Sure. Now, this is a story happening in everyone's head. We said this is a psychodrama that is happening in all the 8 billion souls, whichever corner of the planet they are in. Then they got Ravan also, they got Ram also, there is a line, the same thing going on. It's a psychodrama. So in your town, all the Sitas, are they all ready to be free from Ravan? Easy? You said it is easy, so is it easy for all the Sitas in your town? Answer is no. And the reason is Maya, Ravan has got an assistant. The name of the assistant is Madam Maya. Assistant of Ravan. And whenever Ravan is to plan anything, Ravan keeps Maya as intelligence in his administration. Anything very important, difficult job, Ravan gives it to Maya. Taliban don't have female in the administration, but Ravan has got, female, high up in the administration. So Maya is the intelligence. So Maya is given a job. And what is the job from Maya? That she should not let Sita take the decision. That's all. That is the task for Maya. Don't let Sita take the decision. If she takes the decision, Ram helps, and then Ravan loses a slave. So Sita is taking that, Ravan is taking up the problem step beforehand. Let us stop Sita from taking the decision. And Maya is intelligent. Maya is very happy with this. So Maya goes, first becomes a friend of Sita. Sita is very impressed with Maya that she appoints her, gives her a job as an advisor, main advisor. So whenever Sita wants to take a decision, she sends an WhatsApp message to Maya, should I do this or not? Maya immediately replies. Maya is efficient, reply is straight, instant. For example, Sita might ask, I want to stop smoking, I don't like this smell. It is, I can't breathe properly. My one lung is removed, and don't like this, all this. So I should stop smoking. Maya says, good decision. But today, right, we are in the middle of the month. Why do you want to do this? Wait until the 1st of next month. Then Sita says, yes, thank you. Very accurate advice. Another time, Maya says, it is very difficult. So many people, even Churchill couldn't stop smoking. So it is, why do you want to waste your time just struggling with something? Another time I says, you are weak. You tried to give it up before, you failed. Don't just, you have to first know yourself properly. You're weak, you're weak. Another time Maya says, it's a long process. So it might take few years. Ravan and Maya very much believes in reincarnation. So those who like the idea of reincarnation, Maya says, This life you relax and you make effort in the next life. And that's this time why it is just a, but from the beginning of next birth you can start making effort. So it is long process. Another time Maya comes out with excuses. Maya has got corporate lawyers working with her to think of excuses. Another time, another set of lawyers think of creating doubts. Maya is up to date, with latest journals and just got all the information, What is the form of Maya in Europe, in European Union?
There's blame culture.
Blame. But in this case, Maya is working for interests of Ravan. It is like everything is geared how to keep Sita the slave. That is the inner program of Maya. So the form of Maya in the West is keeping her busy. She's busy with so many things, and that she doesn't even know why she's busy, what she's doing. So when it is a question of stopping Ravan or becoming free from Ravan, she has no time for this because she's so busy, so many things. She doesn't even know what she's doing. And the person is even happy that he's busy, creating another ego that I'm busy. But good news is Maya has got limited number of cards. One has to see the different excuses that Maya comes with, different doubts. Sometimes, just we were saying yesterday, but in future I might create ego, so better not create. Don't even start. That can be Maya's argument. And if someone else say, I need to know more, I need to know some complete, otherwise I cannot start. So he doesn't even take the first step because he says, I need to know everything clearly. No one has explained to me properly. Maya's determination. Maya is determined to keep Sita as a slave. We all the time mentioned that eagle, all it needed was a hint. Doesn't need anything. Eagle just needs a hint and it can use the wings. It can fly. But it can stay in the chicken run forever with all kinds of cleverness of some kind. So is there any Maya? Anyone in your town? Is there Maya in your town? Have you spotted?
Absolutely, yes. It's inside us as well and everywhere. Omnipresent. C from the Spanish group.
Yeah, nice. So what we are seeing here, that there is, if we see this bigger map, there's a game going on here. And inner game, the psychodrama takes the form of a game. And in this game, Sita and Ram are on one side, Ravan and Maya are on the other side. And in any game, there are winners and losers. Not everyone wins. Sometimes maybe Maya wins, sometimes Sita wins, but there is a game going on. In every game, there are prizes and penalties. So also in this game, there is a game going on. And in this game also, there are prizes and there are penalties. I like this one word that gets used, and this word is Raz. And one interpretation, one meaning of this Raz is it is secret, but it is also a game. It's secret, but also it is significant, very significant. And it is also a game. So what an amazing thing. In this scheme of things, if we use the word creation, sometimes people ask, if someone got some problem, someone got illness, someone got accident, who is it? God who does this? Is God punishing people? What is happening? No, God is not involved in this. Ram is not involved in this. But there is this inbuilt mechanism. There is a Raz. And each one has a choice how much he scores in this game. It is a self, moderated. Each one is moderating his own prizes and penalties. It is not someone else who is giving the prizes. He gives prizes to himself. He gives penalties to himself. If he is in the right space, highest space, then he is very, very lucky. Each minute he wins this game against Ravan, then he deserves prizes. If he wins. If Ravan wins, then there are penalties. In other words, if you see on this planet, some places, some situations, or if you just see some news, all kinds of things are coming to human beings. Is it chance? Is it random? Why is it happening like this? Some people or someone say, why is it happening to me? This knowledge says the reasons are in this game. How we played this game all this time. Not just in this birth, but the game has been going on much earlier than this birth also. But we have the option to play the game correctly now and win. There are also, people have births which is like a golden spoon in the mouth. That they are born like this. Or in life they are lucky. There are reasons. Secret, big secret. You win over Maya, you become lucky in the world. You are defeated by Maya, you become unlucky in the world. This is the big secret in this game. Now, let us hear some thoughts from you first. Do you like this game? Do you like to play? Do you like to play any game? So this is a nice game. If you like to play, then here doubles. It is not just like there are tennis, there are doubles. Here it is doubles.
Very interesting. Yes, tennis is fresh on the mind, and when you put it like that, then it is a enjoyable thing. And one comment: we have to play, so we may as well enjoy it. So but I think we enjoy something when we understand it. If you're in the middle of a game and you've no idea of the rules or that it's even a game. So I think once we've absorbed this deeply, or at least starting off seeing it this way, it should help. Question: if Sita does cross the line, in other words, maybe we can call that sin, even though Sita is trying not to, does God forgive? Does Ram forgive Sita?
See, Ram can may forgive, but the system of Ras is such that Ram cannot interfere with that. If just like there is someone who knows the game, I might forgive a batsman for scoring 0 runs, but he gets 0 runs. Umpire or anyone, because he loves him, he cannot give him 100 runs. Whatever runs he scores, that is his score. So each one has to play and he gets prizes, and Ram is happy, others are also happy for that. But if someone is playing a game, is deceived by Maya, Ram, he can forgive, but penalties will still come.
Yes, so it's a bit not the point really to get forgiveness. Just to clarify, is it you make your own prizes, or you make your own prizes and create your own penalties depending on whether you cross the line or not? Is this correct?
Yes, once one is to cross the line. Once you cross the line, you are more vulnerable to do mistakes. In confusion, you don't, as was said, you don't even know what is right, wrong. So you work for hours more easily. When you are, we said in the beginning, when it is Paras environment, it favors the soul. It helps, you are seeing clearly.
Yeah, if any follow-up questions come, feel free to write.
Sometimes people understand the law of karma. In some respect, people know the law of karma. But it is not superficial. Superficially, someone can say, "Oh, I did so much charity, and I should get some big prize, because I did charity." Here, you are the questioning. What is happening here? Is Ravan winning? Even with your charity, is it going into the Ravan's stomach? Are you even aware that there is Ravan there? How much are you winning at a subtle level in this game? That is what brings prizes, not just superficial action. So just going at a subtle level, and it is like not just thinking of the branches and the fruit, but checking the roots, at the level of the roots and the seed, if the things are okay. So if the seed is right, then you are a winner at a subtle level, if you are right. Just want to add one more thing. There is one game, and this game is boxing. If any of you been watching boxing on television or playing boxing, there is one result in boxing that is called knockout. The winners, losers, but there is another knockout. And that means one player becomes unconscious. The boxers, they look for opportunity to hit the player on this part of the head. It is called temporal region. Because at that part of the skull, the bone is soft. An important artery goes in this area. It goes to the brain. So if a boxer hits in this area of the skull, that artery goes into spasm and person becomes unconscious. It is allowed in boxing. It's called knockout. And when the player becomes unconscious, what happens? He doesn't even know that there is a game. He doesn't even know who the enemy is and who the friend is. He doesn't know the game, full stop. And this, he might be thinking of something else even. What that he wants Coca-Cola or something. So this is called knockout. So in our game, if you know any siddhas who don't even know of this game, we said at the beginning we all are in this game. It is our psychodrama. And someone is just relaxed, happy. What do they say? Eat, drink, and be merry. It just means that Siddha is unconscious. He doesn't even know that he is in a game. Zombie, at this deeper level, Siddha is unconscious. It also means that the player has less chance of winning the game, or zero chance of winning the game if this player is unconscious. When one is unconscious, he doesn't know the players, he doesn't know the friends, doesn't know the enemy, doesn't know the game. Ravan can tell anything, and the zombie, the person is doing anything Ravan wants. So that is unconscious state. This is why, what is required when Sita is unconscious? What is required? Let us hear from Lakshman. Anyone can answer, but you will get a prize if you get a right answer. When Sita is unconscious,
Someone has typed Sanjeevani, maybe a Zoom retreat, awakening.
yes.
Sanjeevani, Lakshman is agreeing with this.
Yes, that is what I'm looking for. When Sita is unconscious, there is need of Sanjeevani. Sanjeevani, this word is used in the story. That's why that is the title used for this retreat. Sanjeevani is a mythological herb that can revive the dead. And so, when Sita is unconscious, we need Sanjeevani. You get it in a health food store at Bridge Street in Cambridge. Maybe at Fen Road. So Sanjeevani, what is true Sanjeevani? True Sanjeevani is the spiritual knowledge. How do you know? There is spiritual knowledge. There's so much going on in the spiritual world. Someone told me that just in 1 year, there were 16,000 books on happiness and another 20,000 books on God. There's so much going on. So how do you know which is Sanjeevani and which is not? Some of these books are contradictory. They are not even in aligning. They talk just opposite things. That's fine. But how do you know which is Sanjeevani? For yourselves, you need to know that some kind of discrimination. Anyone can answer. You got what is your discrimination? So even in you, how do you know if the Sanjeevani is working or not?
Maybe a certain type of clarity comes if it is working.
Sure.
Insight. You agree, something that you resonate and agree with and can follow.
Sure. And if Sanjeevani works, so you try, but if Sanjeevani works, then you will know the enemy clearly. You will know the different forms of Ravan, different forms of Maya. And without knowing the enemy, how can anyone win? So you know the enemy. If Sanjeevani has worked, you know the game. To be conscious means you have understood here is a game going on. Here you are in the boxing ring, and there are the players with the gloves. So you are not in the some disco club. It is a game going on here. You will also know your friend. What else you will know? Friend, one Ram, one who is going to help you in this game. You recognize that if you are conscious. What else you will know? If you are conscious, if Sanjeevani has worked, you will know yourself. Sita will know herself as the queen, like Ram. Sita is not very different to Ram. Sita and Ram, they are equal. So when Sita is conscious, she gets a glimpse that she is powerful. She is not meant to be the slave. She is the king and she is master of herself. And she is immortal. She understands her own truth. It is not ego. We need this truth to overcome Maya. She knows her strengths. She knows the self. She knows her true friend. She knows the game that is going on. She understands the enemy, all the forms of the enemy. And that means Sanjeevani has worked. It's the greatest milestone in the journey of a soul to wake up, because as we said, if Sita is not even awake, what chance she has to win? Once she has woken up, there is chance now to win. So, big news.
So someone wrote, you would know the escape route.
Yes, excellent. But Sanjeevani worked doesn't mean she has won. She's still in the ring. But now there are chances of winning. Yes, she still need to defeat the Ravan. But Sanjeevani worked, it is a great news. No one else can play the game for someone else. Like you cannot play the game for a best friend. Even Ram cannot play the game for you. Each one plays the game, each one gets the prizes for what he's doing. But you can give Sanjeevani to your friends. And Ram can give Sanjeevani to us. So this is, as we said, this is the biggest gift anyone can give to anyone else. And it opens the possibilities, different possibilities for others. And as we are saying also, if you win over Maya at this level, you will become lucky through the cycle. You deserve big prizes, through your births and rebirths. And that's why winning, getting this Sanjeevani and winning over Ravan, it is a very strategic thing. Excellent. So Anyone want to add anything? Say anything?
You've kind of covered it. Would you also experience a sense of freedom if Sanjeevani has worked?
In the right way, what we are talking, true freedom, that will be if you win over Ravan, then there is freedom. But this is a level where you have realization, but not necessarily freedom. Yeah, of course, the journey is you are becoming free at different levels. That is happening. That is the journey. But true freedom is the end result. Complete freedom.
So can you say Maya is temptation and Sanjeevani is insight?
No, as we said, Sanjeevani is the knowledge, the complete knowledge. You have to understand everything. Then it is Sanjeevani. Yes, Sanjeevani has worked. So we can say here is a gathering where Sanjeevani has worked, because if we have understood the enemy, different forms of Ravan, different forms of Maya, if we have understood the game, and we will know about the friend more, but we also have understood the self, the true Sita. We used the word invisible traveler and the invisible player. We understand what is going on here. True identity understood. So if we have got this process, then what we can say Sanjeevani has begun, started to work.
Could you say Sanjeevani is like the material you need to develop Paras intellect?
Paras is part of the Sanjeevani. Paras is a first second. We already have Paras, and we use Paras first second. But more you use Paras, it will become stronger. And all of these things complement each other. Paras helps to understand Sanjeevani knowledge. Knowledge helps, creates enthusiasm for you to practice. Experiment. That helps Paras. So it is all complementing each other.
Yes, it helps when you said it's a second, because otherwise it feels like catch-22, but it's a second. The soul Sita is seeing the game and can play from clarity. So question, one participant who's familiar with the scriptural story knows that there is a test that Sita has to go through to return from darkness to light. And is there a metaphorical meaning to that it's about the effort one needs to make on the journey back to soul consciousness? I think it's Agni.
Yeah, it is not relevant at the present time. At this point, Sanjeevani is enough. That is the first thing for us, to become conscious. And based on this, we can already get on with our next challenge is how to defeat Ravan. This is our next challenge.
Okay, so maybe that's a good place to pause. And
I want to say, in the scripture, there is lots of expansion and lots of side stories and subplots. If you go into it, you will lose the essence. The reason we are using this story, it's a very clear aim, how to defeat Ravan, how to overcome our own ego and how to help the soul become conscious, to understand that side of the psychodrama. With that very focused aim, we are understanding the story. So even in your room meetings, you see that your discussion is aimed at that, how to win. That is what matters. Otherwise, there are so many, stories and kathas and entertainment, not necessarily leading to the victory.
Okay, that's helpful as well. Yes. And this chance now to meet in rooms, and I don't know whether a question such as what are the inner games you notice in yourself and what would help you to overcome them, or if you want to suggest something for discussion.
That is good, yes. How to understand the game. To ask, anyone got Maya? That is good also to know.
Yeah, thank you. And let's, yes, very opportunity to reflect further on this. So I hope you enjoy and take benefit from this room discussion, and we'll meet back in just over 10 minutes. chance. Perfect. Official. So let's create a minute to go into the subtlety of this inner game and seeing the strength of Sita and this power of Sanjeevani, and then we'll reconvene in about a minute. Thank you. I know there's a little bit more to this story, so I'm feeling enthusiastic to return to some of the strategies. So Prashant was sharing that one thing is the Sanjeevani, and then the next is to defeat Ravan. But already it feels like it's really tying together some of the subjects we've spoken about and giving context to this position of Sita, who is clear, she is free, and this is her natural and original experience. And it's like redrawing the inner map, that this is our reference point, and that life of desires and misfortune and Ravan is not normal. And certainly a fascinating working model. And so I'm happy to carry on and give time for this next part of the strategy to win. So welcome back, and welcome back to Prashant.
Thank you. And I'm sure you enjoy. Do you enjoy these rooms? Are you all taking part of this room dynamics? Yes, it is. Yeah, I can say the answer is yes. It is such a nice opportunity. We learn sometimes more in a group dynamics by sharing and listening to each other. And nice that you take benefit. And so we will be seeing now how to win, as was mentioned. We understood, Sita is woken up, but Ravan is still there. Big victory is when Ravan is removed. That is a big victory. And also, various things that we have seen, it is new for us. Even though we might be familiar with the story, familiar with knowledge, to understand this psychodrama and relate it to yourself, it is new. I might encourage you to go through it again, listen to the recording of it, for your notes. Go through it properly. Try and now that you got an overview of it, you will hear more things when you listen to it again. It is such an important thing. And I greatly appreciate how this story is written. With it is like a abstract things that are happening in the human mind, to personify them and to make it easy for us to understand. It is beautifully done. But also in the society, in the Indian community, they may not realize there is a message behind this. They might just see it as a real, there is someone by name Sita and all. That is the way most people might interpret it. To see this applies to us, that is some new for most of us. But also to observe over a next week different form how Maya comes. Like even here, you have understood and you want to put it to practice, and when it is really important, like you want to create 5 minutes to experiment with that soul awareness, Maya will say, do it later. Right now, you got something else to think about, something else to do. You will observe instant how Maya is really determined to stop you from making the right effort. In different ways, to observe that in yourselves, or to see. Another time I would say you're weak or you have to be in some other place, you need, it is because of the job you can't do something. Some kind of excuse will come. And we need to observe them. Just observing, it stops it. Just like in any game, you need to be doing the few things in right place, and then it stops. And you can then go past it. So let us now see the strategy. We said Sita was unconscious, now she becomes conscious. But Ravan is there with the boxing gloves, and what are the chances? If you are a boxing player and someone was knocked out in one round, and next round, what are his chances of winning over the opponent who has been so successful all this time? You want to answer? We all have a rough idea. Someone has been unconscious. You see sometimes in the screen, someone bleeding, and nose bleeding, and now he has woken up from unconscious state. What are the chances of he winning? Ordinary chances are very small. But how can it change? We are playing this game to win, not just to a nice story. That is not a reason we are listening to this. We are listening to it to win. So how can this turn around?
One comment, it's high if he knows his goal, or Sita knows her goal.
Good, very good. He knows the goal, that is one thing. Another is Sita need new knowledge, not new information that can change the possibilities. Sita was defeated because of whatever the reason. If she uses the same method, she will get the same results. So here she need to use new approach, and new knowledge is required. So first thing, if she comes to realize in this new knowledge, which new knowledge she needs? First thing is that she is beyond harm. Ravan cannot harm her even the slightest. Soul is immortal, and by that we mean beyond harm. So she doesn't need to be frightened of Ravan at all. And second information she need to realize is Ravan is alive because she's supplying the giving the needs, whatever Ravan needs, she's the supplier. That she's in a powerful position, she can stop the supplies and Ravan will starve. So for her to understand that she's in a powerful position in this game, she is keeping Ravan alive by giving Ravan what he wants. Just these two things she need to know. That she, giving an example, say you got some kind of, right now, Afghanistan, they got bombers and they got all kinds of amazing equipment that America left behind. But those bombers may need some kind of fuel, some spare parts. If you don't get those spare parts, you can't use them. If you can't use, if you can't get certain fuel, you can't use them. Same here. If Ravan doesn't get the supplies, that head of Ravan is stuck. If Sita doesn't give the cigarettes, that head of Ravan is stuck. So she's in a powerful position. She can stop the supplies to Ravan. Now, if she stops the supplies, she also knows Ravan is going to bang the table. Ravan is going to bring smoke from the ears and smoke from the nose. All this will happen. But that is it. Ravan cannot harm her even the slightest. He can frighten her, but not harm her. That changes the game completely, because now she can say, I am going to stop the supplies. Full stop. Ravan can do what he likes, but Sita says, I'm not going to give supplies. And the moment she takes that position, Ravan's head shrinks by the minute. It is literally like that. If the supplies are stopped, Ravan shrinks. You say, as an example, one person used to smoke. For 1 week he has not smoked. That Ravan is smaller. Desperation is also smaller, and he doesn't think of cigarettes. Guaranteed. Okay, if he also doesn't think of cigarettes, then the success is even faster. The thoughts are also supplies. And Sita is in charge. Sita can stop the supplies of these thoughts. And Ravan, that head of Ravan will shrink. And this is our strategy for this game. Stop the supplies. We said, stop the supplies. Okay, I don't give food, I won't say cigarettes. I don't give cigarettes, and I don't stay in a company where people are smoking. Okay. But what about thoughts? How can we just stop the thoughts? Is it easy to just say from today, I'm not going to think of these cigarettes? Is it easy? It is ordinarily not easy. So what do we do here? Keep the mind busy with Ram. Stay with Ram. In other words, keep the mind busy with knowledge of Ram. Right now we are discussing this knowledge. You will be thinking about this. Mind is busy. You are understanding the home of Ram. You are just going through this understanding of the story. During these times, meditation in any form, when various practices we used, paras practice, you are busy. Mind is kept busy. It means during those seconds, during those minutes, Ravan is not getting the supplies. In other words, keep yourself busy with Ram. That is a big success. We will know more about Ram in one of the sessions soon. But as you are doing that, Ravan is going to shrink. And as Ravan shrinks, you are a winner. The desperation will become less, and the whole Ravan's department of sorrow will become less. All this. And Ram can then get on with life more easily. You want to add anything? Feel free to comment. There is a saying in English, idle mind is the devil's workshop. Quite accurate. So don't keep the mind idle. Give a program to the mind. But at any time you see Ravan is using the mind, stop that at this instant, that moment, stop the thoughts and go to the thoughts of Ram, thoughts of knowledge. Sometimes it is worth just getting some books or some your notes, go through those notes and go into the other experiences. Take the mind out of Ravan's world and bring it into the Ram's world. Be good at this, and there are big results as a result.
Yes, sometimes you say it can be mid-sentence or mid-thought. If you see it, then just shift. I find expressing the ideas from Ram's perspective helpful. It can be through writing down what you have understood about an aspect of knowledge, and dwelling in that, it shifts the mindset. Or it could be speaking, could be recording something in your phone, or just being busy in a different way. It's very helpful. There aren't any questions right now. I'm sure there are some coming.
A few more other things I want to add. In this, we got these 10 heads. We need to remove all the 10 heads. And so we have to stop supplies, all 10 heads. In one discussion, one of our senior Dadi at that time, her name was Dadi Gulzar. She said, we got 10 heads, but in each one of us, one head is bigger than other heads. That makes a difference. So everyone got 10 heads, but they are not all of equal size. Some heads are dominant in one, and some other head is dominant in other, maybe. And she said that a big head should be removed first. Not enough just to remove some heads and we are leaving the big head at the end. No, the big head should go out first. The act of the brave is remove the big one. And so question arises, how do we know which is the big one, which is the big head? That head rules your mind in one way or the other. That head is the cause of sorrow. In some form, that is like your big enemy, prevents you from the big prize. Giving an example, we had one politician in this country, Kennedy, and extremely talented. At a young age, he was a MP at the age of mid-20s, something like this, member of parliament, but successful. But he could have become prime minister of this country. He has that kind of potential, but he had problem with alcohol, and he was so much so that in time he couldn't even attend meetings because he was drunk or like this. Important meetings, public events, he would be missing, and he died young. Now what happened here? Here is a person with extraordinary skills, talents, but just one head of Ravan can bring one to the floor. But she also said, if you remove that head, big head of Ravan, then the sky is open to you. The big success, big prize. Leave aside the future, but at the present, this life, we got a lot to experience here. And all of that, alokik, is our world. And to experience it, we have to remove some of the strings. Otherwise, it becomes a scholarly knowledge, information. To experience, Ravan has to be reduced. So start with the big head. And how do we start the big head? Stop the supplies. Keep this aim for 3 days. Whichever you think is the big head, let us do this collectively. Let us aim. From now on, whichever you think is the big head in you, stop the supplies. From today is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 3 days. I'll ask next time when we meet, I'll ask after 3 days. And you are going through what it means, how you have to change your lifestyle, but also the mind. When you are one thought, you are not going to take it to the second thought. This kind of program. When any head is removed from the system, one demon less, there will be so much peace. You remove the big head of Ravan, it is like a big success. But let us start. From now, you will see. My eyes already saying, not from today, start from tomorrow or something like this. But let us. We are listening to this story for victory, so we have to apply, put it into practice. So basically, here some other thoughts from Sarah also.
The wisdom of focusing on the big head feels like if you have a room full of clutter and stuff, boxes and junk, if you are trying to clean it and you start with just peripheral things, you can't really even see what's in the room properly. But if you take out the big pieces of junk, the big boxes, then you are in a position to understand what's the next step. So I think that it's like reducing the clutter, and it is seeing where the thoughts are going, isn't it? Like you were saying, and that helps us to understand the head and just to start the process. But I want to ask you, Prashant, just to clarify, because earlier and also in the chat, things like fear, anxiety, addiction, this definition of Ravan, it's not that they are heads, but each head can experience those things. Could you maybe just clarify it a little bit?
Yes. Each head of Ravan, in this model, the way we described, each head of Ravan, you scratch it, you don't give him what he wants, he will get angry, another time he will be depressed, someone else gets this, he will be jealous. That whole department of different kinds of sorrows that can come from each head of Ravan. It is like metaphorically we say 5 heads of Ravan, 5 vices. It is metaphorical. But in this model, we are saying each head, that department of 5 vices is with Ravan. If we understand this, that is enough. But when you go into exactly how it happens, one head of Ravan may be for tea, and that head can get angry also, that can get jealous also, that can get stressed. One head, some simple thing like they can experience. Another head is connected to people. friend, but it is Ravana. So he will be angry in the name of love. He will be jealous another time. Then there is a Ravan here behind. Song is very loud. Song is of love, but behind there is Ravan. Each head can experience this. And when you remove that head, that department of anger and will go, but other head can experience anger. But it may be smaller head, so the anger may be less. But ultimately, we need to remove the department of Ravan. I'm drawing this sketch here just to get this is like a simple, very precious reminder for us, that our form, this is reviving the invisible player, invisible traveler. We are reminded that he exists, and he has a big world behind. That is the world of the family and world of the father. Excellent.
Thank you. So we have come to time, and it's nice to get connected again to this big map. Will it form part of the homework reflection, or is the homework to start with the big head?
Yes, that homework is for 3 days, and we said another homework for the next week is to observe different times Maya's different trump cards. They are like trump cards, but observe, this is Maya's form. And Maya means you don't have to listen to Maya. I'll just go through this one quickly. Maya says, do it later. What does Ram say? Now or never? Maya says, you are weak. What does Ram say? You are Shakti. You are powerful. Shakti is a goddess that rides lions. Maya says, you are there is do it, do it tomorrow, a long process. And Ram says it's a game of 1 second. Anything, we said it earlier, Paras, it's a game of a second. You realize it is possible. But Maya will say, gradually Maya, Paras will become strong. Maya says it is difficult. Ram says it is an easy Raj Yoga. Everything is easy. If you say it is easy, it becomes easy. Not superficially, but tell, let me see. Can I make it easy? But accurate. You don't say easy and do nothing, but be accurate. Maya will come with the different excuses. We have brain. We have option to use the brain to think of solutions. In every situation, use the antidote, the Ram antidote, and neutralize when Maya comes. So this is the homework for the next week. So it is fairly busy.
Yes, and Maya says be busy. You're too busy, but what would Ram say?
And then we are keeping the mind busy with Ram. That is our.
Great. It's very nice, very empowering. Okay, so we're going to have a review of the session in the form of some images. And if you have anything else you want to share, feel free to put it in the chat. Otherwise, enjoy. Good luck with the inner game, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.